Right, fresh start since now I have returned the drill. Iwami is our startup. Tier 9 IGN Premium, I guess. They haven't told us what they're being used for, right? They haven't. Gimmick on this thing, well, only 8.4 or 10mm guns, 80k health for a tier 9. It's not bad. What Iowa has what, 76? Did they say actually? They might have, you know what, they might have actually told us. Distribution methods, let's check. Methods of distribution, I think this was just a few days ago. Let's see, accept. Iwami will be a coal. This will be a coal ship. Iwami will be a cold ship. Looks like standard heal, standard DCP, no spotter plane, 20.3 km range. The gimmick here is, of course, the torpedoes. These are Shimakaze 12 km torpedoes, which is kind of terrifying, honestly. Gotta see where they're mounted on the ship, but 67 knots, 12 km range, standard Shima things. The secondaries, not too much to talk about. AA defense, not too much. Well, it's got 8 flak actually, that's pretty good. 8 flak on it, but the values besides the 8 flak are eh. Ship does 28.2 knots, turning circle 880. Decent conceal on the ship. I mean, it looks cool. I kind of like the camo. Very Pacific-esque camo. Are they 100mm secondaries? They're 100mm. So it's Harugumo guns as secondaries. Interesting. I wonder if they get any penetration bonuses from that. That remains to be seen. We'll see if it does. Considering they kind of want it as a brawler, these are 155mm secondaries. Oh, the torps are here. Look how far back the torps are. And look at this booty. Can you say shell catcher, chat? Can you say shell catcher? Jesus. And torps being this far back on the ship, it's actually a really bad thing. The reason why, for example, Turpit's torps are excellent is because Turpit's torps are in the center of the ship, which means you can torp the ship as they're going for the drive-by. The problem with very far situated torps is, well, first of all, the firing angle isn't going to be particularly good because this is in the way. So the firing angle is going to be questionable. And second of all, if you want to torp someone, they're going to be around here when you actually get to torp them. They're going to be around here, which means you have already traded the broadside volley by the time the brawl happens. So, yeah, that's not the best of things. The torps aren't helping you in the brawl. They're kind of allowing you to trade after the brawl has kind of already happened. So, yeah, wait, the catapults are going straight into the torpedo tubes. Wait, what? You guys see that? Or is the catapult supposed to be this way? Maybe it launches this way? I must assume it launches this way. Otherwise, it would launch right into this thing. They don't look... You usually can swing out the catapults, but these don't look particularly mobile. Normally, though, the plane comes out from here. And then, what, they rail it here? I don't understand. It might be that they turn they move it here, this thing turns, they move the plane over here, and then they launch it, maybe? I don't know. But this thing doesn't have planes. It's interesting that it does have these things, but you got to remember this thing didn't have spotter plane or fighter plane, so it doesn't come with any planes, so it's not going to be a thing. But it's interesting that we have the plane launching rails. Actually, it's probably not plane launching rails, it's torpedo loading rails. It's torpedo loading rails. Is this going to be a citadel? This is going to be the torpedo storage. Is a shell here gonna instantly detonate the entire thing? I wonder if it would. Flamu, it doesn't have planes. Yes, thank you to... Welcome to 2 minutes ago. Let's see. Let's look at the armor. Uh-oh. Whoa. Wait, hold on. Okay, so that's a lot of plating. It's a fair bit of plating, a huge 32mm arm matchable nose, but this is gonna arm so much AP. This is gonna arm everything. This is gonna be such a massive, like, this is a shell catcher. This is a gigantic shell catcher. Finally reads chat to try drunk on it. I've been reading chat the entire time. Hello? What? You realize I have chat on both screens, right? I love my chat. My chat is everywhere. So chat surrounds me. Okay, so let's see. This is all citadel. How big of a citadel are we talking? This, it is layered, but it's hidden? It's gonna be hidden, isn't it? Oh no, yeah, that's a lot of citadel. 108, 115 plus 356. It's a fair bit of armor, but if it's anything like hidden, this thing is gonna be very easy to citadel. Very easy to citadel. Brawling with this is like... Well, the issue is, once again, if the torpedoes were closer and you could decide the brawl before they got access to your broadside, you could decide the brawl with the torps before they got access to your broadside, I would see a lot of value here. But right now I get the idea that this thing is going to get absolutely dev-struck in a brawl, and then it's going to hope to trade with the torpedoes afterwards. Not that impressed. We'll see. We'll see. It's hard to call right now. It's got 410mm guns with a good reload, so maybe you don't. They're saying it's supposed to be a brawling type of ship, but maybe you just wanna sit at distance. They say Iwami is a close quarters combat battleship that enjoys powerful main armament, secondaries with good armor penetration. Secondaries with good armor penetration. Oh, these are gonna get IGN 100mm pen for sure then. That's interesting. These are gonna get the pen for sure. Wonder what the firing angles are on the secondaries. And torpedoes with a range of 12 km. To compensate for this formidable array of offensive weaponry, the ship received 32mm plating and a vulnerable citadel. I don't know. It might be balanced. The problem is though, pushing in to secondary brawl other secondary ships in this thing is gonna be rough. Because sure, it gets 30mm pen on the secondaries, but in return, everyone pens you because you don't have armor. Like, secondaries eat this ship alive. 32mm is like Schlieffens and such will completely melt this ship. And if you have to brawl, well, Schlieffen has torpedoes of its own. Well, the tier 9 Ruprecht has them as well. And like, this thing can be citadel quite easily. So we'll see. We'll see. Not too impressed by the thing right now. Oh, these are the torpedo launch sector. So this is forwards. Oof. Yeah, that's kind of exactly what I thought. That's kind of exactly what I thought, that the torpedo angle is going to be like this. Yeah, that's gonna be rough. Maybe if you can avoid the brawl and just play at close range without actually committing to the brawl, it might be okay. We'll see. We'll see. It might be a bit like Incomparable, where you kind of, or you want to stay at a mid-close. You don't want to commit to the full brawl unless you're forced. But we'll see. I'm not sure I can call it a brawler though. It seems to have too many downsides to really be a brawler. Let's look at Mecklenburg. Equipment. Let's see. What do we have to say? Distribution of Mecklenburg. Mecklenburg is going to be a steel ship. So this is the next steel ship. Interesting. This is the next steel ship coming out. What do I have to say about it? Hit points. It's a tier 10 with hit points of 85.8k health. Firing range is 22. The thing has a sigma of 205 with 16 guns with a 25-second reload. Battlecruiser dispersion. The HE alpha is of course pitiful, but it's supposed to be quite accurate. That's basically supposed to be the gimmick. It's quite accurate. It gets defensive fire, which is quite a meme. The AA values themselves are okay. It's got 8 flak, once again, but 75% accuracy on all of it. The mid-range is pretty impressive though. It's 375 DPS, mid-range, close range 340, long range 165. With defensive AA active, if you do eat flak, I guess you can eat a fair bit of damage. I mean, I think potato CVs will die to the flak on this thing thanks to defensive AA. So there is that. You can choose between spotter and fighter. And the torps are 6k in range. Let's look at the ship then. Actually, you know what? Before I look at the ship, I want to switch port because I don't like Taranto. Fjords is by far the best looking port in the game. Yeah, it's not even a discussion. Mecklenburg. These turrets look so wonky on a German ship though. These turrets look so wonky on a German ship though. Finnish bias. Fjords is a Norwegian port. But, okay. I wish we had mountains like this in Finland. We don't. Okay, so we got torps on the center. Only one set of torps. And these are located quite close to the center though. Now, there's up and downside to this. The upside is, well, it's much more useful for brawling. The downside is exposed open torpedoes on the center of the ship means a lot of HE is going to break them. A lot of random shells are going to break them because this is where you generally shoot anyway. Comrade Kartoshka, thank you for 51. Don't call me Wombo, thank you for the 11. So 16 guns, 4 in the front, 4 in the back, but only 305. In return though, Battlecruiser Sigma, or Battlecruiser Dispersion and 2.05 Sigma. The range is also 22, which is quite decent. German torps breaking with every hit. Yeah, that's probably going to be a thing. There's a lot of superstructure to farm here, which is standard German. I'm not too convinced about this turret survivability either. These are really big turrets to aim for. Interesting. Let's see, what else do we have? It's maximum speed 32.5, 930 meter turning circle radius, 17.6 second rudder shift. Not very good values. 17.6 surface detect. What do we get from 17.6? Because this is actually interesting because this is the upcoming steel ship. Let's see. Nice. That's 13.8 conceal. That's not very good. That's not very impressive at all, considering the health pool and the otherwise vulnerability of the ship. We looked at the equipment, let's look at the ship itself, the armor. Okay, so you get the German strong armor though. Complete icebreaker, 70 millimeters. Tip of the nose is 32, but front deck armor is 50, 50. 50 is not that good these days. 50 is still good, don't get me wrong. You're going to shatter a lot of HE with it. But 50 still means that the Hindenburgs and the super cruisers and the SAP and all of these things will still be penning you. So 50 is good, but it's not that good anymore. The 32mm part is larger than on GK. Kind of like a battlecruiser version of the GK. Kinda. Having 32 Eurmatch or 32mm pen is gonna be, well, you're gonna there's still a lot of superstructure to farm here. It does kind of remind me of a battlecruiser version of the GK. Like a light GK, honestly. Slightly modified Freddy Hull. Yeah, but the sheer gun count reminds me more of the GK. Good turtleback angles. This turtleback is going to be very effective. This turtleback goes a lot deeper than the GK or than the FDG one. There's no way this is an FDG hull. This is FDG turtleback. This is a much better turtleback than the FDG. Much better turtleback. FDG and Pommern have the same turtleback and it's junk. You can get Citadel very easily, but this thing does not have that weakness at all. This turtleback goes deep. I think you can full turn and still not be Citadel. Yeah, there's no way through this. Then you have 32, 80, 105. How much was this plating? 50. Reminds me of Brandenburg, which is already a turpis that sits deeper in the water. This is to GK what Brandenburg is to Bismarck, kinda. I think it's kind of like a GK light, more GK light than anything else. Also, it does have the torpedoes, which makes it interesting. It doesn't have Hydro though, so it's can be a bit of a side grade. The issue is going to be 305mm guns. We'll see how effective they are. You won't match anything except like Smolensks and Minotaurs. Thank you, Ravenblade, for the 22. The secondaries are 128s, 12x2. Not that much. That's not a lot of secondary firepower. 24 secondaries. Yeah, I think HE is going to be viable. 360, 350. These raised barbettes are not a good thing. Raised barbettes like this and huge flat turrets, these things are going to get knocked out. Shit, many cruisers can knock them out at close range, in fact. Close range, a cruiser might be quite brutal against this thing because you have no match, and these huge turrets are easy targets, and you don't really have that much health pool. We'll see. It's still interesting though, because you got to remember it's going to be 16 German AP guns with good dispersion and a 25-second base reload, and since you have good range, you're going to be able to build reload on it. So you're already going to start by cutting that down by what was it, 25. You're going to cut it down by what, 12% from the reload mod to begin with. Then you're down to 22 seconds. Then you can cut it down by probably another 10% just from AR, and you're going to dip below 20-second reload on 16 guns with good dispersion. There's some potential here. There's some serious potential here. And the HE will have that improved pen as well, because it's German. German and Royal Navy get built-in improved pen on the HE. So it can be quite nasty. That's a lot of potential effective HE. But a German HE spamming BB, that doesn't really sound that exciting. But we'll see. We'll see. I feel like it has potential. Absolutely has potential. And then finally we have the Edgar. We don't actually know what the distribution method of the Edgar is. We don't, right? I don't think we know Edgar. They announced Iwami and they announced... I think Edgar was supposed to be a super ship, wasn't it? I think Edgar was supposed to be the Royal Navy super ship. I think that was the thing. Yeah, it's a super ship. That's what I thought. Probably going to be in scam boxes. Super Cruiser is part of the 9-year rule, 1948 program. Oh, I forgot to look at the text actually. We can read the text once again. We have a version of the A-10J3 super battleship project that had a smaller number of main battery guns and more effective dual-purpose artillery and torpedo armament. Mecklenburg is a battleship with 16 305mm guns and quadruple turrets. The ship's AA defenses comprise systems developed in the 1940s. Yeah, it's supposed to have better AA than most Germans. Let's see, Super Minotaur. Super Minotaur. Almost 50k health, 49.9. It's got 652mm guns, seems similar, 16.5 km range. Minotaur has 16.7, I think. Reload time 3.2 seconds on the guns. Torpedo tubes 4x4. Seems very standard. 12 km range instead of Minotaur's 10 though. That is an advantage. You can choose between 10 km radar or smoke, 5 km hydro, and of course super heal on this thing. AA values are well, the mid-range is pretty impressive. Mid-range AA has 5 km range, which for mid-range is, that's a lot of range. Usually mid-range stops at 3.5. This thing's mid-range extends to 5 kilometers, and it deals 560 continuous damage per second with a 90% hit probability. And long range, it has 154 with a 6.9 km AA range. It shoots 7 flak that deal 18.9k a pop. So the AA values on this thing can be quite scary. Quite scary. You might even be tempted to build this thing for AA. Maximum speed 34 knots, turning circle 730, that's quite nice. Rudder shift 11.3, that's not that good, but you do build rudder shift on them because they have built-in Royal Navy acceleration, so you don't need to do prop mod. Well, you can't do prop mod. Surface detect 12.1, which means you can reach with a full build 9.5 conceal, which means with full build you can stealth radar in the Edgar, just like you can in the Minotaur. Minotaur reaches 9.1, this one reaches 9.5. Smoke firing penalty 5.8 kilometers, not bad. And it has an alternative fire mode setting. The reload between the volleys is 30 seconds. You can shoot main battery AP shell damage plus 50% with 100% improved pen. That's pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting. It's how many volleys is it? Number of salvos, 4. So you can throw out 4 full volleys with 1.5 second reload that have 100% better AP pen and 50% better damage. If it's just a raw pen number and nothing else, then this will also be effective against DDs. Because it's not pen that decides if you arm on a destroyer, it's fuse arming threshold and fuse delay. Those are the things that determine if you can arm on a destroyer. So you can get 4 incredibly fast volleys with 50% increased AP damage on destroyers, which basically means that this thing will dev strike destroyers in 3 volleys max in a few seconds. So if anything, I'm not that impressed by the armor pen. I'm more impressed by the damage plus the reload, because if you build radar in this thing and a DD gets caught, it's going to be so much damage. It's going to be... How many guns did this thing have? It was what? Wasn't it 12? 12 guns. Yeah, 6x2. 12 guns. So that's... you can get 6 volleys off. 48 shells. 48 shells in 6 seconds. You can get 48 shells off in 6 seconds that deal 50% extra damage on a destroyer. That's gonna be goddamn filthy. Shit, even on many cruisers, the improved pen might be enough to score citadels easily. Especially against enemy light cruisers, this is gonna be hella brutal. I'm gonna build this thing for stealth, I can tell you that much. Because the ambush potential of a ship that can stealth radar and pump out this much damage is filthy. That is filthy. Gonna be really hard to deal with though. How do you deal with this like shit? This is gonna be hard to counter. Really hard. Imagine being a Pan-Asian cruiser against this. Oh man, you're gonna explode. Very Minotaur-esque design. Okay. Jesus. World War II has truly been abandoned, hasn't it? Is that the ASW launcher? I wonder. Torpedo sets here. Yeah, this thing is gonna be scary to deal with. Classic light armor. Or is it spaced armor on the Citadel? Wait, what the hell is this thing? Oh, this is a... Okay, wait. It's a Citadel that juts out sideways. That's interesting. This is a citadel that juts out sideways. This is overmatchable, so if you pen through here, you might get... Yo, this thing is kind of designed to eat shells from every direction, though. Even potential plunging citadels. That's a lot of shell catching, man. I mean, if you're going nose in, though, you can kind of bounce. This will bounce. If you auto bounce on this, you can bounce it. But if it goes through here, you're guaranteed citadel. If you manage to bounce on this, this might actually be... This might be better than Minotaur Citadel, though. Because Minotaur has the step up citadel without the protection. Like, look. I can show you guys Minotaur citadel. Minotaur has a different type of shell catcher on it. Minotaur has this. You can bounce like this, but if you get overmatched anywhere except the nose, you'll still be citadeled here. So not having this vulnerability on the Edgar is actually a pretty big deal. If you maintain angling in the Edgar, you're significantly less vulnerable than in the Minotaur. Oh. Also, the armor is better here. It's the same here as on the Minotaur, but here you get 102 plus the 32 and 32. This might actually be enough to arm enemy Minotaur shells, this gap. The shells might actually arm in the gap before they reach the citadel. This might work against enemy light cruisers with fast fuses. Interesting. But more importantly, not having the step up citadel here is a big deal. Obviously, broadside, this thing is going to be dev struck ridiculously easily, and if you land nose and hits, you're going to get citadels. But if the Minotaur manages to play around this plating here, it's tankier than... If the Edgar manages to play around this, it's going to be tankier than a Minotaur. So that's interesting. Whether WoW's players can maintain angling is a different thing. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, super ships have the potential to break the game, but because the average player who plays super ships dies first, they're not really doing much. And the average player in the Edgar is just going to get himself dev struck. So, I mean, I've seen players in Condes and Shikis, not Shiki, whatever it's called. I've seen, like, the super ships are supposed to be the super ships, but it's more like the super ship. So usually they die first. It's kind of incredible. Satsuma, yeah. Okay, now then, what do we want to check out Toulon first? That's the premium. Actually, that's the thing that we think might be pretty busted, right? Okay, now we'll save Toulon. We'll save Toulon. Toulon is the premium. We'll start with the tech tree. Cherbourg. A project of a super heavy cruiser close to the Dunkirk class ships with her main armament comprising 8 305mm guns. What's the description on the Edgar? A development of a Minotaur cruiser project. Year of design 1975? We're in the 70s now? 1975. Is that the most modern ship we have in the game? We're in the 70s now? I think that's the most modern. What was it before this? Smolensk, maybe? Colbert? I think those were 50s though. Late 50s. Smolan, maybe? What year is Smolan from? Jesus. 1975 though. Holy shit. Like, this is after the Vietnam War. That's how late this is. The development of a Minotaur cruiser project with an increased number of main battery guns, as well as more advanced effective anti-submarine and AA weaponry, developed in the 1950s and 1960s. Year of design, the holy shit. What was the depth charges on it? 5K! Oh shit. 5K bombs. God damn. Bombs in a charge 3, number of charges 2. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Jesus, 1975. Wow. Okay, that was a lot more modern than I thought they would go this fast. Jesus. Okay, so Cherbourg, with her main armament comprising of 8 305mm guns. Go to equipment. So this thing has 49.5k health, range 17.7, 25-second reload on the guns. The Sigma is 1.8. Turret versus 30 seconds, not too bad. Fire chance is garbage. The fire chance is 17% base fire chance. That's actually quite dreadful. Armor pen 51. Maximum range is 1. And here we have... Yeah, interesting. Secondaries are 130mm guns. Seem pretty eh. AA is also pretty eh. Speed is 31.9. Turning circle is 670 meters though, which is honestly pretty incredible. And rudder shift 12.5. Both are very, very good. Surface detectability is 15.7. 15.7. That leaves us at 12.3 conceal. On a tier 8 that has, well, we're going to have 5 km hydro. Engine boost, 20%. French engine boost. Oh, it's going to be a lot faster than 31. Holy shit, it's going to be a lot. It's going to do 40 knots. Easily. More than 40. Heal. And a main battery reload booster. Cruiser. It has more health than the Zao already. At tier 8. Hello? Jesus. That's a lot of good stats to have on a ship. Hello? Ah. Classic cruiser look. Classic cruiser design. Don't most cruisers have 35 to 42k health? Yes, they do. At tier 8, most certainly. This is like kind of a mini battleship. It's kind of like a Dunkirk that's been... Thank you, Native, for the 40. Really short, hence the turning radius. Good conceal as well. I don't know how the conceal is so good with this close line hanging back and forth, but interesting. Armor? Let's see. Okay, 25mm nose. So, well, light cruiser nose, I guess. 27, 27, 27. So it's got cruiser armor. You gotta remember, this is supposed to be a tier 8 cruiser. Wait, what the hell is this Citadel? Wait. Where is it? Okay, so just above the waterline. Narrower than the hull. Interesting. How do we reach it? Okay. 170mm plus 45. That's a lot of armor for... That's a fair bit of armor, honestly. Oh, and it's multiple layers. It's 3 layers. You have to punch through the torpedo belt, and then you have to punch through the armor belt, and only then can you reach the Citadel. There's going to be a lot of shells disappearing here. This turtleback, is this enough angle to... I think this angle might work against normal cruisers. If you have improved pen angles, the cruisers are going to pen this. Like I think Shitros and such can pen you, and Stalingrads, but I think if you don't have improved pen angles, this is going to be enough to protect you. Jesus. How is this... Like what? Tier 8 cruiser? Tier 8 cruisers. 12.3 km conceal. Reload booster. 49,000 health. Sorry, 49,500 health. With superintendent 4 heals. Reload booster hydro. Speed boost. It's going to outrun you as well. It's going to be so goddamn fast. It's going to do over 40 knots coming at you. The fuck? It's not going to have any DPM though, but do you need DPM when you're just going to dumpster things? Jesus. That's going to be rough, isn't it? Angle and HE spam it. I mean, then he starts reversing, and he will out-reverse you. And shit, like... he's got heal, you don't. And handles really well as well. Do they burn for 60 seconds? They better. Let's see. Do they say? Oh, these things also have improved dispersion on their secondaries. Wait, really? Really? But thanks to the 139mm secondaries with increased accuracy, these cruisers can also prove themselves in close quarters combat. Okay, this thing only has 130. Is it the higher tier ones that is going to have 139? Jesus. That's a lot of gimmicks. That's a lot of gimmicks. Holy shit. What are the stats on the guns? The guns. 25-second reload. And you have reload booster. It was, I think it was Battlecruiser Dispersion, right? And 1.8 Sigma. Range 17.7 upgraded. HE is weaker. Fire chance 17%. But I mean, the HE still pens 51mm. So even if the HE values are worse, I mean, that's still going to be rough to deal with. Interesting. Man, this is gonna suck for other cruisers to fight this thing. Okay. Do we know their... Wait, do we know their values yet? Are they in the monitor? Are they here? Let's see. They're not here yet. They're not here yet. Unfortunate. We don't know their pen values yet. Jesus. Imagine this thing running at you when you're a tier 6 or tier 7 cruiser. Atago will do well, but saying Atago just wrecks it when you're literally one of the few tier 8 cruisers that have a heal. And Atago has always been notoriously super strong. Atago has been strong since release. These things seem very powerful though. Very powerful. Brest. A cruiser with 330mm main battery guns concentrated at the bow. Her AA artillery comprises Bofors and Oerlikon automatic guns. Okay, show me your titties. Wait, no. Show me your breast. Okay, let's see. 55.3k health. It says fire duration 60 seconds. Okay, these things burn for 60 seconds. That will help. That will help quite a bit. These things do burn 60. I'm not sure if that's enough help though, but at least they will help. 330mm guns, 18.2 km range. HE is a lot better on this thing than on the tier 8. The HE fire chance goes from 17% on the tier 8 to 35% on this thing with a 25-second reload. Interesting. Sigma 1.8, 25-second reload with reload mod, it's going to be 22, plus other potential modifiers like top grade gunner and such. You're going to get that reload quite low. And this thing has the 139mm secondaries that have improved dispersion. These secondaries have a 10% fire chance and 7.8 km base range. So the secondaries will actually be a valid aspect of the Brest as well. Hydro again. 20% speed boost again. Heal. Reload booster. 50%. AA. 6 flak. 6 km range. 90% accuracy on the AA. The AA values seem okay-ish. Mostly the flak is going to be quite good at 1,680 damage per pop with 6 flak. It's going to be okay. Maximum speed 31.5. You get speed boost also over 40. Rudder turning circle 720 meters. 720 meter turning circle. That's better than many DDs. Jesus. Rudder shift time 13.2. Surface detect 15.1. That's better than what the tier 8 had. This thing will reach 11.9 km conceal. 11.9 km conceal. Smoke firing penalty is 12.4. Okay. Interesting. 55k health and 11.9 km conceal. Interesting. And it turns extremely well. Hmm. 25 nose, 27, 27. Interesting, this is a hitbox. Wait, this thing here is a hitbox. That's pretty funny. What's the caliber? 330. The superstructure, though, it's not that much superstructure. If you're shooting this thing nose in, it's not really that much superstructure at all. Oh shit, look at the citadel. Hello? Look at where the citadel is hidden. Holy shit. Is this an Alaska moment? This might be an Alaska moment, boys. Oh shit. I mean, yes, you can citadel it, but how often are you actually gonna do it? Jesus. It's straight up waterline. It's straight up perfectly waterline. Our matchable deck armor, sure. But once again, you'll have to punch through 190 millimeters plus 40. These armors are good as well. Interesting. Jesus. Cruisers gonna suffer trying to sit this thing. Shit, ships with fast shell velocity is gonna suffer trying to sit all this thing. This thing is gonna be a struggle fest to sit all these things. Absolute struggle fest. And you gotta remember, 330. These things can citadel battleships probably quite easily. Which means this thing runs at you and does a drive-by. You're gonna get a pens, over pens, not any citadels, and then he's gonna reload booster citadel you back. These things are scary. These things are quite scary, honestly. You gotta remember, this thing will come at you at 40 knots. You're not gonna have time to turn away when it comes at you. These things are hella fast. I mean, if you start turning right away, you'll be able to turn away, but you're probably going to be reload booster citadel at that point. If the concealment is 11.9, he's going to be in citadel range easily by the time you completely start doing your turn. Yeah, these things are scary. No torpedoes, no. Don't give them any ideas. This thing already has its fair share of gimmicks. Holy shit. And finally, and this is just a tier 9. Then we got the tier 10, the Marseille. Let's see. Marseille. Year of design, 1944. A super heavy cruiser with a displacement of over 30,000 tons. Her main armament comprised 9 330mm guns concentrated in 3 turrets at the ship's bow. This ship's greatest weakness is the looks by far, but let's look at the rest of this thing. Let's go to equipment. Cruiser, 30k tons. 67,000 health. Holy shit. That's a lot of health. That's a lot of health. $33 knots. 33 knots. With, is it 33 flat? 33 flat. With speed boost, 5%. Or speed flag 5% and speed boost 20% means that this thing will do 41.6 knots. 41.6 knots. 67k health, 41.6 knots. Jesus, that's pretty terrifying. Oh, and this thing has 6x2 and 4x3 139mm guns for a total what? So 12 plus 12, 24 139mm guns. These things have a 10% fire chance, 8.3 km range, and improved accuracy. So the secondaries will kick in, well, if you build for them even slightly, they will kick in quite quickly. Reload time on the guns is 24 seconds, faster than the others. Sigma 1.8. HE Alpha is quite good as well. 4.8, 35% fire chance. 19.6 base range, so you can easily build reload on those things. And of course, reload booster. Interesting. The AA defense is 8 flak, 1750 damage. The mid-ranges are pretty The AA isn't that good. The flak is pretty effective though. Turning circle 770 meters, which is once again incredible. 14.5 second rudder shift. Surface detect is 14.8. Wait, that's even better than the ones earlier. They get bigger and bigger, but their concealment gets better. 14.8 conceal. That's 11.6 with full stealth build. 11.6 stealth build. Jesus. Okay. So this thing comes at you, 41.6 knots. You see it at 11.6 km. He's running at you. Secondary starts kicking in at sub 10, basically quite quickly after he's running at you at that speed. He's got Hydro running, 5 km Hydro. He's got heal reload booster, and he's got 67k health. Fair enough. Interesting. All turrets are forward pointed though. That's an advantage because that means you can shoot like this and then you can turn your ship that way and shoot like this. You don't have to wait for the guns to turn. It's like the Petro. You can keep them at the target and smash them. You can see these secondaries here. These are all secondaries and they are with improved dispersion. In fact, kiting away the secondaries might be quite effective as well. And you got secondaries here as well, 139s. This thing is horrendously ugly though, but in terms of power, can be quite scary. 25 nose, 30 and 30. Fair enough. 30mm plating, by the way. This is basically Zhao's armor scheme, just with 67k health and 15 gimmicks. And a much better, holy shit, so much better citadel than what Zhao has. The armor is hilariously much better. 210mm plating. Overmatchable citadel, sure, but this one is a bit above the waterline. 50mm on the side though. 50mm plus 210. 260mm of plating plus the turtle back. Whoosh. And the health is so juicy, 67,000 with 4 heals. And it's so fast, you're going to be able to disengage easily. And the turning circle is so tight as well, and the conceal is good. These things are pretty terrifying. Is breaking guns is the option you're probably going to go for if you're fighting this as a cruiser. Break guns or burn it. That's gonna be it. But the thing is, you're burning at this. Well, it's gonna take some time because of the sheer amount of health. That's really it. 67k health. Jesus, that's a lot of burning to do. And the secondary is more than anything. Like the secondary values are no joke, because they 8.3 km improved dispersion range and 10% fire chance per secondary. Shit, that's gonna be a lot of, like, there's gonna be, this thing is gonna start a lot of fires on you as well. Secondaries plus main guns, and then reload booster on top. So if you damage gun, he's gonna reload booster, and you're guaranteed gonna be burning. Yeah, these things are scary, to say the least. And we still have the Toulon, which is a tier 7, by the way. I say that with quotation marks because this thing is as far from a tier 7 as it can be. Okay, Toulon. 1926. A project of a battleship with this displacement of 17,500 tons. Thank you, Kerensky. Which was effectively a super heavy cruiser. The main purpose of the ship was to oppose Washington cruisers. Okay. Okay, so Toulon. Hit points, tier 7 by the way, 42.5k. Main battery, 2x4 305mm guns with a 28-second reload. HE pen is 51mm. Reload time 28, turning circle. Sigma 1.9. Secondaries are 155s and 100mm with 6.3 km range. The AA defense looks pretty junk, honestly. You seem very vulnerable. Only 2 flak and very little continuous. Maximum speed is 30 knots, but you have hydro. Okay, you can have hydro defensive. 30 knots. Turning circle 710 meters. That's very good. Rudder shift 11.5. Surface detectability 11.5 kilometers. 11.5 kilometers surface detectability, which means with concealment and captain skill you will reach a concealment of 10.04, so effectively 10 kilometers of concealment at tier 7. Your smoke firing penalty is 8.8 kilometers with 305mm guns. What the Here you get standard DCP, hydro defensive, fighter, reload booster, and a heal with 3 charges, 4 because you're gonna run superintendent. Tier 7, by the way. You imagine playing any tier 7 cruiser and running into this thing at 10 kilometers. It's gonna pop up at 10 kilometers. With battle cruiser dispersion, 1.9 sigma, reload booster, heal, hydro. What the what have they been smoking? How much does this heal? 212. 212 times 1.2 is 25.4, or 254.4. 254.4 times 28 seconds is 7,123, and you get 4. So you have a healing potential of 28,500 health, and you have 42.5k base health. So that means you have effectively 70,000 effective health at tier 7 in a cruiser, plus battleship caliber guns, reload booster, hydro. What? Hello? Are they human? Under what? How delusional are they to think that this can in any way be released in its current state into the game? BB reload? Yeah, except with BC dispersion. And reload booster. Like, the difference is, any tier 7 battleship that tries to sneak up on you gets spotted from the moon. They have garbage conceal, and they're slow. This thing does 30 knots base and has 10 km conceal. It outspots the cruisers. Tier 7 can't get concealment. Yeah, I know. I counted with that. I only multiplied it with captain skill and camo, which lands you at 10 km conceal. Once this is out, I bet they do tier 7 ranked. Interesting. Maybe it's got a really vulnerable citadel. Maybe it's got an incredibly vulnerable citadel. Maybe it's like one big floating citadel. Like, this entire thing is one big citadel. Okay. 60mm, that's standard cruiser at tier 7. You gotta remember, this thing overmatches cruisers. Right? Doesn't it? I'm pretty sure it does. 16 is standard at that tier, so times 14.3. Yeah, he easily overmatches. You only need 230 to overmatch cruisers. So this thing overmatches all enemy cruisers. It can overmatch itself. 25, 25. Okay. This doesn't say citadel, this says armor belt. Just to put it into perspective, the Des Moines, that's a tier 10 American cruiser, has 152mm broadside armor. This thing has 170, and this is not even the exposed citadel. What are they smoking? What in God's name is this company smoking? Holy shit. They can't be human. They can't be human. What the fuck? Yo, no way. 60mm? 60mm behind the turtleback. Yo, what? And it's 25mm turtleback. A 25mm turtleback is literally effective against battleships at this tier, because you need 380mm guns to overmatch 25. And most battleships, there's many battleships at this tier that don't have it. Why is this thing in tier 7? 170 plus 60, 230mm of turtleback protected citadel. That's basically barely above the waterline. Yo, it's thinner than the hull as well. It's much thinner than the hull, the citadel. What the f... And then this thing, what, had some insane turning circle as well? This thing had some absurd turning circle. It had turning circle of 710 meters with an 11.5 rudder shift. 710 meter turning circle. What the shit is that? 710 meter turning circle. Like, Leningrad has a similar turning circle. If you look at the actual cruisers, it's much worse. It's much worse. What? Gorizia? Gorizia has a better one. What is Strasbourg? 730, so it's better than Strasbourg's. Holy shit. It's better than Eindracht's turning circle. Except with 10 km conceal, battleship guns, turtleback, 230mm armor, reload booster. Yo. It has an 85mm armor deck not shown. Wait, what? Sorry, what? Where is that armor belt? Is there a hidden plate as well? Surely not. Surely not. It's where the barbette ends. Wait, what? There is. Wait, where the barbette ends. Oh, is there like here a plate we can't see? Like underneath or something? Shit, I can get that. I'll send a picture. Do it. Wait, so it's actually not our matchable citadel then? Because this is all... Is this like this thickness here? Is it 85? That's why the barbette looks like it's floating. But why is this not citadel if the barbette ends there? Yeah, it looks like the barbette ends and there's a gap. So there's this armor here that we can't actually see. Yo, what is this thing? Hello? What? Do we really need to tell them that this is a terrible thing? Like, this is broken. But money. Yeah, but money. This is so busted, though. You gotta remember, this thing is gonna sit nose in and use all its firepower as well. And if you try to nose in against this in a cruiser, he overmatches you. Whereas you can't overmatch him. I went through the whole line. Every single one has an 85mm plate. So they all have that hidden plate. Jesus. Holy shit, what are they thinking, man? Like... We can hope this is just very preliminary numbers and they're gonna change it. But I really worry about the state of the balancing department if they even from, like, any standpoint think that this might be okay. Like, from any standpoint think that this is okay. To be fair, they thought the Petro was okay with 11.1 km conceal. Remember that. Petro has been nerfed 5 times now. Reload once or twice, concealment 4 times. But when they released Petro, it had 11.1 km conceal. Then they nerfed it to 11.4, 11.7, 12.1 and 12.4. It took 4 nerfs for them to understand, hey, Petro having 900 better conceal than its radar isn't a good thing. And it's still broken. Like, the balancing department is just in this game. The tier 10 has a 95mm plate. No way. Holy shit. Just above the citadel leg. Yeah. Oh. I saw that link. Let me look at it. Thank you. Oh, here it is. Oh, here it is. Yeah. So in order to actually overmatch the citadel, your shell would have to somehow punch through and go just in between the gaps so you can reach it. I love that they always include hidden plates in their armor schemes that we can't see. I love that they always do it. Holy shit. 85mm here. Yo, this thing... How is this a tier 7? Thank you, Bonzi. Oh, so they all have this plate. I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. This is like... How is this a tier 7? This thing in tier 8 would be already super powerful. This thing in tier 7, what the hell? Even in tier 8, it would be one of the few cruisers that have a heal at tier 8. That it would already be really powerful there. Like hella powerful. Check the WoW's Discord page. I don't know what the WoW's Discord page is. You mean the official World of Warships Discord? I don't really read that. There's too much nonsense in that channel. Oh, wait, you posted it in my Discord. Ah, here we go. Wait, I'm pinged. I'm pinged. Oh, here we go. Thank you. Thank you, Mechanicus. Okay. Let's see, what do we have? Brest. Oh, here we go. Are these some hidden plates as well? Or just that? No, that's just the internal turtle back. So this thing has a plate there. Marseille, of course, has a plate there. So much for any plunging citadels and so much for any overmatchable citadel. They don't actually have that. And this thing has one. So if you want to actually hit that, you can't do plunging shells. You have to hit the gap to reach it. Yikes. Thank you, boys. Thank you, boys. Well, now we know. Now we know. I'm not sure if we should be grateful of what we know now, but now we know. Yikes. A close-up of Brest, please. Oh, you're in the wrong channel. You need to go to the just chatting section of Twitch. Oh, you mean the ship? Ah, okay, 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. There you go. You're welcome. Mm-hmm. Look at this Brest. Look at the secondary farm on that thing. Yeah, I feel like these things kiting away can be quite frustrating to deal with because of this. Gotta remember, 10% fire chance per shell. Improved dispersion. We'll see what reload they have, but this can be a pain in the ass to chase as well. Alright, that's all the ships covered then. This ended up being quite a long segment, but